January 16th of 2026 began as another average day at the office for this Indonesian construction worker. His cab cam was rolling as he maneuvered around the job site in North Maluku province. That's when he felt something strange beneath his truck, almost as if the ground around him had started sinking. Moments later, he was abandoning ship and running for his life.
Monitor, dokter 18. Kemana ini paman? Boleh. Monitor. Mau masuk. 18. Itu kau.
The worker's truck had gotten caught in a freak landslide at a local nickel mining site. While he and his nearby co-workers were able to escape, others weren't so lucky. According to reports, 3 people were buried when the tailings zone collapsed. 2 of them were declared deceased, and a third was still missing. This disaster came only a week after another landslide in the Bandung Barat region claimed 34 lives, including 23 soldiers. Then, a month later, another mine collapse in the Morowali industrial area buried an excavator and the operator inside. The Northwestern Glacier, named after Northwestern University in 1909, can be found at the head of the Northwestern Fjord and Kenai Fjords National Park in south-central Alaska. For years, it's been a hotspot for glacier enthusiasts, hoping to see some of the best calving events in the world. These tourists got their wish on a routine expedition in 2026, when a chunk of the Northwestern Glacier suddenly collapsed into the water below.
Here we go, guys. Get ready. Oh my gosh. Alright, we gotta turn around. God, massive. Holy shit. Oh man, we gotta turn and run. Oh my god. Go, Nat, go. We gotta go. Holy crap. Holy crap. That's the biggest calving I've ever seen. Holy shit. Holy crap. Holy crap! Holy shit!
In simplest terms, glacier calving is when large chunks of ice break off the edge of a glacier. The size of these chunks varies greatly. Sometimes there are only a few dozen cubic meters of ice. Other times they're massive land masses, like the A38 iceberg, which broke away from the Filchner-Ronne ice shelf in Antarctica during a calving event in October of 1998. At 2,750 square miles, A38 was technically bigger than the state of Delaware until it broke apart shortly after its formation. April 26th of 2024 was a dark day in parts of Nebraska and Iowa. A destructive tornado outbreak spawned several long-track storms with wind speeds upwards of 170 miles per hour. Hundreds, if not thousands, of homes and businesses were destroyed. These farms in Shelby, Iowa, almost fell victim when a massive wedge passed through town.
Oh, man! Good night. I've never been this close to a wedge. It missed the house. That's good. house. It's gonna get real close to that house. Oh, it's gonna hit it. It's gonna dead center it, Bodie. That farm is toast. Oh, look at the debris it's already hitting. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it's going behind it. Maybe it'll miss it. It's gonna be close. Oh man, that was close. Oh, there goes a tree. Look how big it is.
According to the National Weather Service, the April 26th outbreak spawned over 20 tornadoes between Iowa and Nebraska. It's unclear which this was, though we believe it was the EF3 that touched down between Pottawatomie and Shelby counties. It was on the ground for over an hour and tracked a 41-mile path of destruction across the countryside. While the farmsteads in this video avoided disaster, others took a direct hit. The storm destroyed dozens of buildings, causing tens of millions of dollars in damages. It also injured 3 people and claimed the life of 1 local. Hurricane Ian was a devastating Category 4 storm that made landfall in southwestern Florida on September 28th of 2022. Very quickly, it became the deadliest hurricane to hit the region since 1935, resulting in 129 fatalities. Wind speeds topped 150 miles per hour as Ian tore across the Sunshine State. In Manasota Keys, several locals who refused to evacuate captured rare footage of the storm as it laid waste to everything in sight. It's easy to forget that in order to capture this footage, these folks had to stay behind while the rest of their coastal communities evacuated. According to The Guardian, roughly 20,000 people filled out a shelter-in-place survey prior to Ian's landfall. When it was over, only half of them were accounted for. This was likely because many had chosen to leave anyway, and cell phone connectivity in Ian's wake was spotty. In April of 2023, the National Weather Service announced that Hurricane Ian had achieved Category 5 status with 160-mile-per-hour sustained winds prior to its landfall in Florida. It is worth noting, however, that there's little difference between a 160-mile-per-hour Category 5 and a 155-mile-per-hour high-end Category 4. Both can easily cause over $100 billion worth of damage, as Hurricane Ian did. In the early morning hours of August 19th of 2024, a historic rainstorm dumped almost 11 inches of water on Suffolk County, New York. It fell so quickly that the local drainage systems couldn't keep up. Within minutes, all of Suffolk County was on flood watch. CCTV cameras inside the Smithtown Public Library were rolling when the rain came down. Time-lapse footage shows the first-floor hallway slowly filling with water. Then, when it slows down, you can literally see the wall on the left bulging as water builds behind it. Pressure builds until the wall eventually gives, effectively turning the library into a scene from the Titanic. Cameras in the first-floor study room followed the wall of water as it washed away anything that wasn't bolted down. The torrent was strong enough to rip an old arcade machine from its place on the wall. Chairs, desks, computers, and book racks were instantly destroyed. When it was over, the flood had caused roughly $20 million worth of damage. It also damaged several priceless historical documents, including presidential letters signed by Thomas Jefferson. As of this writing, restoration experts are currently working to save what they can. In 2026, after a couple of years of repairs, the Smithtown Library reopened its lower level to the public. New windows were built to withstand the force of another flash flood. They also doubled the number of storm drains in the parking lot in the hopes of avoiding another flood altogether. For these Filipino fishermen, October 26th of 2025 looked like a decent day to be out on the water. The fish were biting and the weather seemed to be holding up. Then, in an instant, everything changed. Perhaps this is the risk you take when you fish in the shadow of an active volcano.
Inang po, inang po. Inang po, inang po, inang po. Diyos ko po, Diyos ko po. Diyos ko po. Diyos ko po, Diyos ko po. Diyos ko po. Takbo! Takbo na! Takbo! Takbo! Takbo!
The men were fishing on Lake Taal, a freshwater caldera lake that fills Taal Volcano. In the center of Lake Taal is a 3-mile-wide volcanic island where all observed eruptions at Taal take place. Think of it like a volcano that's inside of a lake that's inside of a larger volcano. This event was actually one of 4 minor eruptions that occurred on the same day. The first was shortly before 3 a.m., followed by 2 more between 8:13 and 8:20, and a final eruption at 5:30. Based on the footage, we're guessing this was one of the first 8 a.m. eruptions. According to reports, ash plumes from the first of these morning blasts rose nearly 4,000 feet above the main crater. Then, only a few minutes later, the second eruption produced plumes closer to 7,000 feet. The October eruptions also produced 33 volcanic earthquakes in the area, including 10 volcanic tremors lasting upwards of 90 minutes. The Shariatpur district is a large cluster of cities and villages in central Bangladesh. It's split in half by the Padma River, which apparently has an insatiable appetite for people's homes. Every year, erosion eats away at the riverbank, causing everything built on top to fall into the water. All these locals could do was watch helplessly as their cute purple home became the river's latest meal. Scenes like these are a common sight along the Padma. On the bright side, those living in at-risk houses can spot the warning signs long before their homes fall victim. Nobody was inside this building when it collapsed, though it's unclear what happened to the family that called it home. No one has any solution to ease their suffering, one local man said. In the face of nature, everyone loses. El Oro, Ecuador is a small province on the country's southwestern coast. The name comes from the region's lush gold mines, which were first discovered when the Spanish arrived in the mid-16th century. They also discovered that the area was landslide prone, especially after periods of heavy rain. In March of 2026, one such landslide struck the rural parish of Arcapamba while these workers were simply trying to traverse the mountain. Thankfully, none of the workers in this video were injured during the landslide. It also looks like they were able to salvage all of their vehicles. It's unclear what triggered the landslide, though it was likely related to the severe flooding plaguing Ecuador since January of 2026. Between then and March, floods and landslides had impacted roughly 46,000 people, leaving 24 wounded and 11 deceased. According to reports, more than 80 houses were destroyed and over 13,000 dwellings suffered damage. Unfortunately, this is commonplace during Ecuador's rainy season, which typically lasts from December to May. The Kagan Valley is a popular tourist destination in northeastern Pakistan. Famous for its freshwater lakes and national parks, people tend to forget the threat it poses to those living along the floodplains. The locals know all too well that flash floods can strike anywhere at any time. On July 19th of 2026, one of them did when a freak cloudburst storm filled the Kagan Valley with seemingly endless amounts of water. Imagine standing there watching this wall of destruction race toward your village. Here's what that same flood looked like from higher ground. Higher in the mountains, one local captured the flood's raw power as it ripped a tree clean from its roots. Elsewhere, torrential rains triggered a landslide that blocked a major highway, stranding locals and tourists on either side. The storm also washed away a bridge in the Siran Valley, cutting off access to 12 small villages. Thankfully, local officials recognized the warning signs quickly enough to evacuate the low-lying areas. Nobody was hurt during the flood, and it's unclear if there was any other structural damage aside from the bridge. It was June 21st of 2026. Locals in Miang, China were in search of drier ground after several days of relentless rain. All that water triggered a sudden landslide high in the mountains. Within seconds, a large volume of mud, rocks, and debris raced down, threatening all the ground-level homes. This blue apartment building never stood a chance. Witnesses claimed that the landslide happened without warning around 9:10 a.m. Unfortunately, there were 2 people inside the home when it collapsed. Rescue workers found one of them deceased inside the rubble. The other was still missing several hours after the disaster. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one.